Under 10 now. James drives on Curry. Stolen by Curry. Taken away and brings it into the front court.
JJ Barea is smiling down from the heavens, even though he's pretty much alive and well, I suppose. I hope at least. But what a defensive lockdown position by Steph after Adam Silver's NBA made us wait like fucking 17 minutes.
Too old for this.
Too old for this shit.
Till they were able to resolve NBA shot clock issues, man. And they had to have the announcer announce it in there for the last, what was it, 2 minutes? Even though the game was pretty much decided. That was one of the weirdest moments I've seen in a long time. Thankfully, I could obviously go ahead and skip it, but in real time, that would have been mad frustrating, especially if I was, waking up for this game at like 2 a.m. here in the Czech Republic. So, shit, man, I don't know. But at the end of the day, the Warriors get a win. A win is a win. There is no such thing as an easy win. And even though, of course, the Lakers were hampered by Anthony Davis, who had to leave the game after the first quarter, essentially, because he got unfortunately hit in the face or some unlucky circumstance with an eye. I'm pretty sure it was a poked eye, and he could not return to the game. So I wonder what's going on there. Hopefully it's nothing too serious and he just couldn't return today. Obviously helped us a ton to win the game without Anthony Davis. We were able to get into the paint and dominate from there a lot more than we would have been able to if obviously Anthony Davis had been able to stay in the game when you have Jackson Hayes out there for 28 minutes and obviously AD would play around 40 minutes maybe even. So there's that. LeBron obviously 48 and 9. Sheesh, man. Still obviously unstoppable at his age, and that's one of the bigger issues today because Kuminga was just not able to stop him at all. Kuminga defensively tonight against LeBron was way too easy. Let's just put it that way. And once he was giving up, it was a tough watch, unfortunately. Which is funny because I feel like when they played, I don't know if it was this year or last year. I'm pretty sure it was last year when he defended LeBron last year. He did a really great job in that game. But tonight he was just off. And it feels like his defensive intensity, physicality has been, a little down, especially since he fouled out in Atlanta and since that New York Knicks game where they were able to play as physical as it gets. So hopefully he can return to that because that defensive prowess needs to be there. It's just the motor defensively goes sometimes. While offensively he has a motor of, a special world-class talent. Defensively, the motor is sometimes not too full. Let's just put it that way, right? And Kuminga, offensively, 23, 2, and 4, set the tone early. Him and Wiggins together had the first 15 points combined, and they set the tone offensively. Kuminga hit 2 threes, and both of them were fairly tough and off the dribble, I'm pretty sure. The second one was a catch and shoot one, but the first one was off the dribble and a really tough one. So that set the tone very well, and he hit some good jumpers, which of course opens up the game for him. Wiggins was able to get into the paint. It was nice to see him get the first bucket and was 7 of 17 tonight. Shame he couldn't hit most of the wide open shots he was getting because I'm pretty sure 15 of those 17 shots, maybe even 16. I'm pretty sure most of those shots were open. Or wide open, and he was just not knocking them down. Ports once again not that aggressive tonight with 5, 5, and 3. Felt like he was gun shy tonight, not taking his small chances, but he still had a huge shot in the third or in the fourth quarter to push it over a 10-point lead with a 3 ball. So hey, at least that is that. And the Warriors obviously got Steph back, Draymond back. Draymond played 34 minutes, had 12 rebounds, 13 assists, 6 points. A really good double-double for Dre, and he looked much better tonight, even though the back issue is obviously very concerning since he has to play center. He's undersized already, and it's been, an ongoing issue, like I said, dating back to the championship season where he had to miss essentially the second half of the season, right? Once Clay came back, Draymond essentially was out till the playoffs almost. It felt like maybe he came back a little earlier than I remember, but he was out for a long, long time. So there's that. Or he came back earlier, but Steph got injured, I'm pretty sure. That was the thing. And Steph, 31, 6 and 5 in his return. Couldn't get it going in the first quarter, but once he got into a rhythm, it was really nice to see him just go to work, especially in the third quarter where he was just on one, 12 of 24 from the field. Clay had a really great first half, and just overall, I felt like he played an incredible game. 26, 4 and 3, no turnovers. Took mostly great shots. There was one or two heat checks, but I mean, he was so hot that it makes sense. And he was once again able to get to the free throw line a little bit more. He loves using those pump fakes a little more in those mid-rangers. So feels like that's been happening once a game, at least, throughout his bench tenure. So that was nice. Chris Paul, 8, 6, and 4, once again had some really good mid-range buckets with the Trace pick and roll. That was nice to see. Trace, 10, 3, and 4. 4 assists is really nice. 2 blocks also. So those are, obviously really positive things. GP2 played just 6 minutes. You obviously had Moses Moody out the rotation once again. But overall, I like the rotations a little more. Kuminga in there a little longer in the first and in the third with Steph. He was out there for 7 to 8 minutes in the first, with Draymond getting caressed a little earlier, obviously. It was Steph, Clay, GP2, JK, and Trace Jackson Davis, with GP2 being intertwined with Brandon Pojemski or Chris Paul. Still don't love the Steph Chris Paul lineups, especially with the way we constantly switch. And the thing with the constant switching also is that Kuminga is also prone to just switching a little too much, in my opinion, right? He let LeBron get the matchup against Trace way too many times, it felt like, and then when he stayed on him, it was also not that pretty, so maybe there's that, but I guess it's a strategy, team-wide, so, do you blame the coaching staff? Do you blame the player? Do you blame both sides? Is there something to blame, or is it a good strategy since we won? Questions. But I don't enjoy the ultra switching heavy, thing when Chris Paul and Steph are on the court at the same time. But I like Chris Paul being more aggressive since he returned. Clay, of course, with his legs was awesome and great to see. We were able to contain Austin Reeves and D'Lo, which was great. And the offense just looked good, man. The offense just looked good. Of course, like I said, no AD helped getting to the rim, and Steph was able to cook. Defensively, there are obviously a lot of things to dislike. The point of attack defense, once again, was weird. Not only the switching, like I already talked about, but also the communication felt a little off today. Like they weren't communicating properly, and they were getting lost on many possessions where they were left to scramble because of that. And defensively, I mean, hey, you gotta get those reps for Kuminga, for Potts, and for Trace, hopefully, so Trace can take the place of the starting center eventually, hopefully, and Draymond can go back to playing the 4, and maybe Kuminga at the 3. I don't know how that will work, right? We'll have to figure it out over the offseason, where obviously Clay is due for an extension. Will Andrew Wiggins stay? Will Looney stay and everything? So we'll figure it out once we get there. But a win is a win, and a huge one, obviously, against the Lakers, as we now have a 2-1 record, and we won't have a worse tiebreaker against them, since if we lose the last game against them that we play, then we're obviously tied 2-2 on the season, so it would go down to the record anyway. Now we're obviously at the 9th spot ahead of them, 2.5 games behind the Dallas Mavericks, which would be nice to catch still, but obviously we dug ourselves quite the hole here. Have a lot of games left still, and we play the Mavs I'm pretty sure at least twice still, so we have a ground to make up, and we can. But we also gotta look, man, Houston is catching up a little. They've been playing incredibly well, especially Jalen Green. He's just kind of figured it out, it feels like. And the Rockets are on a 5-game winning streak, and they still could play spoiler for one of us, the Warriors and the Lakers, with the way both teams, I would say we both feel like better than the record is, but at the same time we don't. And I feel like we could really trick this thing off to the Rockets at the 10th spot if we don't catch a good rhythm here in the upcoming stretch when we play the Knicks, who are returning to full strength, right? Memphis at home is a must-win. Indiana at home is a must-win. I mean, every game is a must-win pretty much, but this homestand going 3-0 will be crucial, man. It will be really crucial because then you have a road trip of, Minnesota, top of the league, Miami and Orlando back-to-back, both really good teams, even though Miami has been kind of also weird. Let's just put it that way. Charlotte, obviously, is not that tough of an opponent, but it's still away from home. Spurs, Mavericks, a lot of, tricky games where we can trick it up. And like I said, it's a huge road trip after this 3-game stand. So hopefully we can capitalize on this homestand and win those winnable games, right? We've already beat the Knicks in the Madison Square Garden. We already beat the Grizzlies. Well, we lost to the Grizzlies also in their place with one of the most embarrassing losses this season, right? In Draymond's return from suspension. So, shit, man, we gotta beat them. And then Indiana, we've already destroyed in their place. So, is it a good sign that we already have a win against those teams? Aren't we due to lose to those teams? Shit, man, we gotta beat them. But I'm excited to see it, man. Excited for the Knicks game, for the Grizzlies game, for the Pacers game. I'll be back on March 19th, aka Tuesday, I'm pretty sure that is, with the Knicks Warriors game breakdown and or talk, or however you want to call it. If you enjoy Warriors content, leave a like, comment if you want to talk about anything NBA really. And yeah, support small creators, I guess. I don't know, man. Be kind to yourself and to others as always. That's the key. And rest will follow, man. Have a wonderful day, wonderful whatever. And yeah, catch you all with the next Warriors game on Tuesday.